my slips, my falls, my trials and tribulations, my heart, my balls, my somebody stop, somebody come and get me. Little did I know that the Lord was riding with me. The dark, the light, my heart, the fight, the wrong, the right is gone.
Hey, what's going on out there, YouTube family? This is Samuel Legger here representing Team JVS. This video I'm about to go and show you guys is a side-by-side that I'm having while I'm playing as the character Abby, new character to The Last of Us Part 2. I really kind of break down where I feel where some people would have issue with some of the progressions that's happened as far as the narrative to The Last of Us Part 2, even though I still, at this point, I leave it at a 10 out of 10. I think it's a masterful game, every way, shape, or form, and I love the actual storytelling, but I can empathize with people that are tied down to certain notions of why. And so I'll let you, this literally, I'm coming up with this thought process while I'm actually playing the game. So here we go. This game is actually so good, you guys. Storyline is got so much depth to it. Like, it's not for the conventional gamer. This game is not for the conventional gamer at all. Matter of fact, like, people that love like a good series, a little good like movie, this is for them, in all honesty. Dang, that's a group. People have been hating hard on the game. It makes me sad. They hating on it because they couldn't get past the first 2 hours. From them, like, I mean, I can understand because this is the person, spoiler alert, that killed Joel. Like, the person that pioneered the first game, the person that protected Ellie, the person that we followed along with
refer to the Fireflies as terrorists
from the beginning. And it's like,
you were naive.
now we have to choose to allow ourselves to feel how she's feeling.
It's not the same.
Go through what she's going through
say shit like that
and empathize.
Okay, alright.
And at the same as that time, see the darker nature aspects of Ellie that ultimately came from a lot with interaction with Joel. She learned everything she learned from Joel, which taught her how to survive, but that didn't help her with her humanity. And the choices that he made, those sins, are also, I don't want to say infecting, but they're definitely causing a ripple effect when it comes to Ellie. And she's going to have to deal with these ramifications of the actions she made. So,
I think it's the same thing.
I think that from that aspect, I can understand where people, it's hard to digest. Not just that, the gameplay of this game is not like a conventional game. Like, you have to think through it. It's not even like Uncharted. Because you have to be conscientious, you have to be understanding of what's happening.
Can you imagine this?
And you literally have to not just think up on your feet, but you have to deal with your own anxieties of what's going on. Like, you are consistently worried about what's happening, like who could die, or your character's gonna die, or how they're gonna die, and you have to think on your feet. And that's not conventional gameplay. Like, I love that because I don't get that with other games. Like, it gives me a reason to fight. Like, I have a reason to try to survive. At this point, like, now I have to say, like, I've become an effective killer, not because I wanted to, but because I have to survive.
Wanna try those keys?
So,
yeah.
it's crazy, man. Like, I could do a whole dissection on just this game as a whole. But I do understand where people may be having a problem with, because they probably were like, oh, I just want to see, like, yo, Ellie and Joel, like, working amok, or like Joel being out of commission and like Ellie just hamming fools. Like, no, it's deeper than that. Like, it's way deeper than just a normal revenge story. This is not just a revenge story. Like, this is a character study on this world. Not just Ellie, not just Joel, but the people in it. And I think that that alone is, to me, makes this one of the best games I've ever played. But hopefully you guys have been enjoying these live streams. I mean, it's not been a lot of you guys watching it, because like everybody in the world is playing this game. But I'm not just playing it to just rush and get through it. Like, I'm trying to actually unpack it, experience it, and see it. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people, they just want to rush through a game to get it done. to figure out how it ends. But this story isn't indicative of how something ends. It's about the progression of how life is. I could do a whole character study or a review on just that aspect of the game. Like, her and Ellie are a lot alike. My friend Ty, he said it perfectly. It's a yin and yang situation.
I'm sorry.
So Daryl, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. Abby, from the very beginning of the game, I was already there. Like, I was already like right there with Abby. Like I was already invested. The problem was the paradigm shift happened where she double-crossed Joe, shot him in the leg, and killed him. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's crazy to me, like, how much I understand and empathize, because it's a lot, bro. Like, it really is a lot. And she got a good shot too. She's a good shot. But no, I'm already there, man. For me, at this point, no matter where the story is gonna go, this is still one of the best games I think I've ever played. Like, straight up. Like, because they did something that I didn't think was possible. Jarrell Alexander, he's right now doing like reviews and watching through with the second one. He'll probably get through it before I will, just because I'm actually playing it and he's just watching it. But he had said something which is fascinating. I had thought about it a long time ago. It's like, does The Last of Us 1 really need a sequel? The way that they designed this game made it so that it was a perfect stitch, escalation, and connection to fill in the blanks of the first one that a lot of people didn't even think was even needed, even though a lot of people had questions. And I think that this actual movie game, the second one, is that perfect example of an amazing sequel. I don't care what nobody says, bro. I've already gotten to the point where I'm at. I feel like I'm still got villains that I don't know about. I still feel like it's going to be situations that I'm not going to be able to be. Because the only reason why I say I don't know I'm not going to be prepared for it is because there's been so many moments in the beginning of this game that I was not prepared for. And so, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go. Yo, spoiler alert, Mystics, and chill, bro. I don't know how there could be a part 3. Because I don't know who's going to survive. But, either way, I did enjoy it. I am interested to see what they're going to do with the HBO joint. Like, they've got a lot of content that they can plug for at least 4 seasons already. Oh, yeah. So, that's exactly what I was going to say. But yeah, I'm going to go. Y'all take care. Have a blessed night. Okay, so then after that, earlier today, I was talking to a friend, and basically I posted something that said, after 10 hours of playtime with The Last of Us Part 2, I've confirmed that the game is masterful in storytelling, engaging in survival, thinking-led gameplay, and surrounding a feeling of life, love, and loss. I don't care about how it will end. This is one of the best games I've ever played in years. I stand by that. One of my friends said, I appreciate this, man. I'm about 2.5 hours in, and I agree. I can't figure out what all of the backlash and controversy is about, other than some many gamers acting in bad faith and displaying intolerance. What do you think? And what my response was to this: the game itself does not gratify it does not gratify the way in which a story or a gameplay choices normally goes. And because of that, people don't look at it like it's something that they have control in with normal games, but instead this moves like a TV series, a film, which gamers sometimes cannot accept. People have built these specific characters in their minds of who and what they should be and the way that their story should go. But as with every great book, film, or life in general, that is not how things go. Never that clear black and white. That's what messes with gamers. Laugh out loud. So I didn't mean to leave the laugh out loud because I think that some people are legit hurt and like upset about the narrative choices of the game. And I think that this is definitely spoiler related because one of the biggest spoilers is of course what happens. But so spoiler disclaimer, you should have, saw whatever, a little spoiler disclaimer that should have came up before. But the reality is that Joel was the epicenter of the first game. And people have been, since the first game, painting pictures in their minds of where this narrative was going to go. Who Joel was going to be. Was he going to grow old? Was he going to, protect, Ellie? Was Ellie's story going to go and lead to the salvation of everything? Where was things going to actually lead to? And unfortunately, within the first 2 hours of the game, you find out that that's not the case. Like you start up the narrative with Ellie and then this other person named Abby, and like you started like, man, Abby, the girl's actually pretty strong. She's quick. She's fast. But it's something else going on. And then when Joel is cornered, and of course he eventually dies, but the hands of Abby, the game itself shifts in its narrative. I'm not gonna say it's like The Walking Dead or anything like that in terms of like season 7 shift, but what happens is, in people's perspectives, Joel was done dirty, and because he was done dirty, like everything that transitions from that point, it spirals. A character like Ellie, who was kind of grown and groomed by Joel, is now becoming very much so filled with vengeful nature, willingness to kill, maim, torture, and is done some horrendous things in this game. And all along, as well as while you're actually playing and watching this game proceed, you also have to go through the emotional resonance of the character Abby as to justify why she did what she did. But there's no, any of the gamers, they're not going to be able to justify what Abby did, because it's like you're killing somebody's dad that you know. It doesn't matter what they've done, like this person did that. And, there's hell to pay to that. Like, we want Ellie to kill this girl, we want Ellie to get her vengeance, but we see her going and making these decisions and like choices that are uncharacteristic of her as a character, and we're getting more on the lines of empathetic resonance with Abby than we are with Ellie, which makes it so much more heart-wrenching the more you play the game. Now granted, I have not finished the game at this point, but we do know up until the point that I'm at that Abby has lost a lot, and I mean a lot, and I'm not going to spoil too much, but there is an altercation that eventually does come to pass. And because of that, I think that a lot of people are like, I never wanted to play as Abby. I don't want to feel the emotions that she's feeling or what she's going through. I don't care about her storyline. But the reality is that when you play the very first game, it very much so was about Joel. It wasn't about Ellie necessarily. And even when you look at like Left Behind, like it was Ellie and her friend. It wasn't like any kind of connection to Joel whatsoever. And so I think that this is another amalgam of this universe and this world that it transcends what gaming and cinematic experience could actually really be. Because if you take into account the human nature side of all this, that progressionally people go down this line of vengeance like Abby and Ellie, that lead them down these roads. There's a thin line between what is right, what's wrong, what's justified, and what's not. And you look at it from both sides, like us as the consumers, we're always going to take Ellie's side. We're always going to take Joel's side. And it's like, it doesn't matter, how or why, like, we don't care. But from a critic standpoint, from looking at it from outside perspective, I find it very fascinating. I find it very moving and beautiful and dark and vicious and uncomfortable. I think the most uncomfortable thing is that I'm having to play through different moments that I don't want to do. There's a moment that happens with Ellie that I was like, I don't want Ellie to do this. I don't want her to go through this. But at the end of the day, this is a choice that she's making, so we have to go through it with her. And some people are blaming the writers for that, but you can't. Like, that's a story. That's the whole point of a story. Like, it's not going to go the way you want. And on top of that, like, a lot of the most interesting story characters are the ones that you go through the narrative with on an uncomfortable level. And I think that from that perspective, it is very amazing. I think that the uncomfortability of everything that's happening and the narrative choices are what make this a standout game. Because one way or another, either you're going to be able to accept what's really happening and go through it, or you just won't, and you can't get behind, you know, what was happened or what was done to Joel from this person, regardless of their reasons, regardless of how much they actually probably deserving of their justice that they got. And sometimes, I mean, you don't like characters. That's a whole other thing. But I think that it's not a justification to say that the game is bad because of the narrative that it is taking. I don't think it was a mistake. I think it's very interesting. I think that when this goes down the line of like an HBO series, like, this is going to be very fascinating. Like, this is going to be a very fascinating road that things are going to go. But I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it. And I know my friend Jarrell, 2 hours ago, I believe, he just put in $why. And I think he messaged me saying something along the lines of, The Last of Us made a mistake, laugh out loud, laugh out loud, laugh out loud. And I don't know what he means, but I know that he's only watching it, he's not playing it. And I think the experience and the immersion of playing it and experiencing it are a little different. But either way, like, if it's got to do with the Joel decision and where things are going, I mean, that's the whole point of this video that I'm actually kind of making. So I guess I disagree with him, but I empathize and I can understand. I really can't understand that some people can't get past the decision to take out one of the main pivotal cornerstones of this game, and then making you suffer through the memories that made and refined Ellie to being who she is, for good and for bad. And that same thing for the character Abby, which I thought that was the most fascinating part about this. And I love the game. And so let me know what you guys think. This is just an in-depth conversation that I'm having about the game so thus far. I think I'm about 13 hours in, and I'll talk to you guys later. I gotta go sleep. Keep it locked. JVS, we ain't gonna stop. Have a blessed night. Blessed evening. Blessed day. Peace, guys.